Okay, so forensic job role number 12 is one of those roles that is normal, and then as soon as you do it in within the law, then it becomes forensic. So you'll all have probably visited this person at some point in your life, but just not in a forensic environment. So the job role is a forensic odontologist. So it's quite ironic that this role is essentially a dentist, and it's also very much of a mouthful to say. So you'll have to excuse me if I trip over my words a little bit on that. So essentially a forensic odontologist is a dentist, but they are doing their role within the law, so it becomes a forensic role. And generally, they're only going to be looking at dead people as well, because they're not going to be looking at people's teeth who are alive. This role would be key if DNA analysis or fingerprint analysis can't be done. If they can't be done, it might be because there isn't many remains left because the body is that old, or it might be that the criminal has tried to get rid of any DNA or fingerprint options, so they are trying to kind of cover up their crime. And that is when a forensic odontologist may be able to prosecute the criminal, because they would look at the victim's teeth and in their mouth. They can identify the person from their teeth, because people have quite unique sets of teeth, which you'll see in the video in a minute. Or if the suspect has been bitten, then you'll see in the video in a moment as well that will also leave some DNA. So if you wanted to become a forensic odontologist, you'd have to go to university and study dental surgery or medicine. So we haven't spoken about PhDs yet. You would have your undergraduate, which is your general university degree. And then on top of that, you have your postgraduate or your master's, kind of goes under both names. And then on top of that, you have your PhD. So that's when you would become a doctor. So you would be at university for quite a long time if you wanted to do this job. But obviously you can see from the wage there that is reflected in the amount of money that this role earns. So if I show you the video, it is of this guy that you can see on the screen now. He is a forensic odontologist. So I'm just going to switch over my screen share. Just one more thing to point out is this video is quite American and quite dramatised with like the music and stuff, but it does give you an idea about what a forensic odontologist would do. So let me just find my mouse. Oops. Okay. And new share. There we go.
Let's hear from our expert how odontology is used to solve crimes.
Identification is the biggest part of the work of a forensic dentist. I've done individual identifications, whether it be car accidents, victims of drownings, victims involved in a train crash or an air crash. Bite mark cases have become a major contribution of forensic dentistry in fighting crime. There's been some very high-profile cases that have gone to court. William Bundy is one of the best known. He left bite marks on his victims. The bite mark evidence was a major part in his conviction. I've worked on criminal bite mark cases. One of the first things that would be done on a victim would be taking DNA samples. If a person bites another person, you can't help but leave saliva. And in saliva, there are white blood cells, there are slough cells from the inner lining of the cheek and the lips, and those cells can provide enough DNA, sufficient DNA, to match to that individual. In one particular case, the child was the victim of an assault and had what the medical examiner thought might be a bite mark, and later died. These are models of the suspect. These hard models are what we can use to determine the unique features of the suspect's dentition, and hopefully compare those unique features to the marks in skin.
So I'm just going to stop that there. Before I started this video, you might have just got a little glimpse of what role is coming next. So apologies about that. Still having technical issues 12 weeks after lockdown. And you also might have heard in this video the guy mention William Bundy. So you might know him more as Ted Bundy, a really kind of high profile criminal, and this was one of the things that got him prosecuted. So a really key role in the forensic world.